Oga Mike was the kind of man people in Port Harcourt spoke about in low tones. He worked as a customs officer, always on the road, always traveling, and everywhere he went, women seemed to follow him. Some said it was because of his job, others said it was just his nature. Either way, he had built a reputation as a man who could not stay away from women. At home, things were not the same. His wife, Debbie, had tried to make the marriage work for years. She had cooked, prayed, begged, even cried, but nothing seemed to change Oga Mike. His lifestyle only grew worse with time. What hurt Debbie the most was that she loved him deeply, yet the man she loved couldn't stop hurting her. They had 2 beautiful children, Alan, who was 8, and Josephine, who was 5. The children adored their father, even though they barely understood what was going on between their parents. They saw their mother's tears and their father's constant absence, but they were too young to piece it all together. Eventually, the day came when Debbie couldn't take it anymore. She packed her things quietly one morning, gathered the children, and walked out of the house. There were no fights, no shouting, no explanations, just silence and the sound of the door closing behind her. That silence stayed with Oga Mike. For the first time, the big house in Port Harcourt felt empty. The laughter of his children no longer filled the air. The smell of Debbie's cooking was gone. Even the clinking of her bangles as she moved around the house was missing. Weeks turned into months, and Oga Mike tried to live as if nothing had changed. But deep inside, he felt the emptiness. He would come back from work to a quiet house, pour himself a drink, and sit for hours without saying a word. The only thing that reminded him of his family were the framed pictures of Alan and Josephine on the living room wall. The children were later enrolled in boarding school, and that made the house even quieter. Oga Mike lived alone now, just him and his thoughts. Sometimes he wished he could turn back the hands of time and fix what he had broken, but it was too late. He had no idea that the choices he had made, and the loneliness that followed, were only setting the stage for something much deeper, something that would shake the very core of his life. Oga Mike never really learned his lesson. Even after Debbie left with the children, his habits didn't change. If anything, he became worse. The freedom of living alone in Port Harcourt made him careless, and the money from his customs job only fueled his lifestyle. Everywhere he went, people already knew his reputation. In the bars around Elekahia, the women whispered his name with excitement.